I've been getting a lot of questions about what do you eat on an Ayurveda detox program. And so that's what I'm going to answer today. And here's the thing. The Ayurveda Spring Detox is not only about food. Yes, food is an incredibly amazing way to help the body heal. And sometimes food can be poisonous, right? If you're allergic to something. So yes, it's about the food, but it's about more than the food. The detox is about detoxifying and purifying for a 10-day period of time so that your body has a bit of a break from all the stressors, all the irritating foods perhaps, or irritating habits, so that it can focus on detoxification. Now, why do we do this in the spring? Because your body's naturally going through a more intense detoxification after months of winter, and it may be accumulating some fluff, but also on purpose to stay warm, right? You're accumulating more in the winter time. Your body is now wanting to get rid of that excess accumulation. And sometimes that can present as more mucus, right? As the fluid in your body starts to move and hopefully your lymph helps it move out. Sometimes it can get stuck in the respiratory tract, in your nasal passages. This is when we get more susceptible to allergens in the air, of course. And going through a period of time where you intentionally undergo more of a detoxification process in your life can be really supportive to this natural process that your body's going through. So here's the thing about the food. It's only one piece or one layer of my 3-layer approach. So in the 10-day spring detox program that I guide, there's a 3-layer approach, and you can choose to do 1 layer, 2 layers, or all 3 layers. The first layer is what I call the medicine of subtraction. And so this is really about what can I let go of in my life that is maybe not supportive of detox, of rest, of rejuvenation, of purification. And so this could be anything from staying up late to watch Netflix at night to maybe the second cup of coffee during the day. Yes, you could, it's wise to take a break from coffee entirely, but maybe for you, especially if it's your first time around and you're really attached to coffee, that's okay. Maybe you just reduce a little bit. And so I'll guide you through some choices that you can make around the medicine of subtraction. And that could be food related or habit related or lifestyle related. It could be social media or just news in general. Like, what are you taking in, not just food wise, that maybe you can let go of for the 10-day period? So that's layer 1, medicine of subtraction. Layer 2 is the addition of self-care. And so for the 10 days, it's a nice time to really dedicate extra attention and time to your own self-care rituals. And we'll talk about dry brushing and abhyanga, which is a self-massage with oil, and how these can really help the body go through this detoxification process. It can help nourish your system, also nourish your nervous system, and be really supportive in that way. Things like movement, yoga, meditation, those can also be part of your self-care routine, and it's totally customizable, right? You can decide what and when and how often you want to do any of these self-care things. So that's the second layer. And then the third layer, should you choose to accept it, is around the food. And so usually what happens is day 1 and 2 are dedicated to pre-cleanse, if you will. And this is where you might start subtracting some of the common irritants like caffeine or alcohol or sugar from your diet. And then day 3 up to 8, it's up to you if you want to do 1 day or 5 days or 3 days, but you could do up to 5 days of a mono diet. And then day 7 through 10 are really about reintegrating more seasonal foods and variety into your diet so you can go back to, or not go back, but continue a more varied, a more complete diet. Now, because you don't want to be on the mono diet forever. It's really serving a purpose now to help your body deeply detoxify and purify for the sake of rejuvenation, right? We want what's on the other side. And so it's not about restricting your diet. It's more about simplifying your diet for those 5 days so that your body can really focus on getting rid of that gunk that may be just creating some sluggish digestion. Maybe you've lost your appetite or you have a bad taste in your mouth. Maybe you just have a general heavy feeling in yourself after the winter months. And so this can be really supported by a mono diet. Now, what do I mean by a mono diet? Well, there's 2 paths that you can choose when it comes to this. One is the maybe more traditional Ayurvedic route, and the other one is if you get tired of that halfway through, or if you just want to keep it simple in a different way. And so the Ayurvedic route is to eat a mono diet of khichdi for up to 5 days. Now, khichdi is a 1-pot complete meal of mung beans or lentils and rice, sometimes quinoa and other grains, and spices. The spices are so important because they help you digest the food. And we want to keep it simple. Like I said, give your body a chance to take a break. So support it through warm, nourishing foods and spices to help you easily digest your food. And then you would add, if you wanted to, some seasonal vegetables. It's a really delicious dish that I often eat once a week as sort of like my Monday meal to keep it simple on a day when we're getting back into the groove of things in my family. But when you do this in a more intentional way for a period of several days, then your body can really focus on the detoxification and purification. So if that route, the khichdi route, isn't appealing, or it's not for everybody. Some people can't digest mung beans, for example. Everybody's different, just like some people can't digest tomatoes. Then you could go the other route, which is still a mono diet, but keeping it simple with a cooked grain, cooked seasonal vegetable, and a lean protein. And so you would eat roughly that same combination of things, maybe different vegetables or a different lean protein. Maybe if you're a meat eater, you could do lean chicken and or a lean fish, and you could absolutely change it up over the course of the week. So you're not bored by your food, but you are keeping it simple for your digestive system. This is the key. This is what's so important. And then after 5 days, or if you decide to only do 3, that's fine, or 2, then you would start incorporating more seasonal foods, different grains, different vegetables, and then continue into your spring season, hopefully with a little more energy, a little more vibrance, a little bit more feeling rejuvenated, and literally feeling like you've shed a layer of yourself, either physically, sometimes people do lose weight, or also just on the inside. And that's supported by all 3 layers of this approach, right? The first one was the medicine of subtraction, the second one was self-care, and the third one is this mono diet. And again, you can choose to do all 3. You can choose to just pick 2 or even 1. And going through that 10-day period of dedicating yourself to even just one of those 3 layers of being is just going to transform things for you and help you prepare not only for spring, but what comes next is summer. And so sometimes I've personally experienced when I haven't done a detox in the spring, I've personally suffered in the summer when the heat is highest and I haven't gotten rid of a lot of this built up stuff after the winter. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that's interesting to you. And if it's interesting enough, you're like, hey, might want to participate. It's so much more fun to do this together in community, because if you're the only one sitting at home alone, or even especially if you're the only one at home in your family eating something a little different for a few days, it can feel kind of lonely. And I guide you through the process. I guide you through a little bit of like more information and education around what's actually happening in your body and some of the things that you can experience, and different people will share their experiences together. And that's really what makes this even more impactful for you. So feel free to comment on in the comment section below. Feel free to message me or email me if you have any questions. But registration is open on my website, seasonalintentions.com/spring-detox. And I'd love to have you join us April 13th through the 24th. If you need to start earlier or later to make it work for your schedule, that is absolutely a great thing that you can do. It's very flexible, like I said. But we'll be going through it together and having some live community calls together so that we can share and I can help guide you throughout the way. I hope you have an amazing day. Let me share this awesome view that I've been staring at while talking to you, coming to you from the Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island. Have a sweet, sweet day.